We're talking about being cranky. Because the heat for me, I think the heat exacerbates everything. I notice I'm a little bit short with people, and I'm like, why am I so cranky?
More so than usual.
Exactly. So, tell them, hottest days of the
We've
year.
had some of the hottest days, obviously, of the year this week, and that got our New York Living team thinking, is it just us, or does everyone seem to be a little more agitated and stressed out during a heat wave?
And it seems like people are really losing their cool, literally and figuratively. So we wanted to bring on one of our favorite mental health experts to try and unpack all of this for us. So joining us live this morning is Dr. Jeff Gardere, friend of the show and board-certified psychologist. No one gave me the short sleeve button-down memo, but here we are.
Yeah.
Good morning, Dr. Jeff.
Looking good.
Good morning. I was going to wear a jacket, and then when I saw Chris in his short sleeve, I said, okay,
took the lead.
Let me match the mood now.
Yeah.
I love this. Like a true physician.
He's a team player, too.
He's mirroring. I know that trick. I know that trick of mirroring your subject.
We're already getting in here, huh? Okay.
Okay, listen, is it hot enough for you, Dr. Jeff?
Oh, you didn't.
It's not hot enough for me. Let me tell you, first of all, I'm from Haiti.
Yeah.
And so we're used to very, very hot weather. So when it's like 92 and humid, that is my element. But that being said, we do know most people can't stand that kind of heat. We're having a heat wave all over the planet, it looks like, and people are really, really getting upset and really acting out.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously, there seems to be that link between heat and aggression. And we talk about people being hot-headed or say someone needs to chill out. We're really onto something here because that is kind of what we need at this point. But what's really going on that triggers it? Is it discomfort? What is it exactly?
Well, we know that there is an association between very hot weather and negative feelings, people feeling agitated, irritable, distressed, jittery, sometimes depressed. And we also know that hot temperatures can cause an increase in stress hormones. And then that in itself gets us feeling in a way that is not very positive at all.
I did not know that. So the heat can increase a stress hormone in the individual.
That's right.
Yes.
So
I
now
had
we've
no
learned
idea.
Something.
I
Be a
had
little
no
more patient with my stress hormones. Heat.
Well, it's too late for that now. Listen, we've talked the past couple of days about staying cool physically.
Right.
We've implored our viewers, find a cool place inside. We've given them tips to stay hydrated. But when we think about ways to keep our cool mentally, one thing that you say is to prepare ourselves. How on earth do we do this?
In a mental state.
Yeah.
Well, it's self-talk, right? Before we go to a party, for example, we have a designated driver, or we say that, if we're going to have alcohol, then we're not going to act on our emotions. We prepare ourselves. So that's the same thing you want to do when it comes to going out in this hot weather. Prepare yourself. Say to yourself, I'm not going to get into an argument with someone, or I'm going to make sure that if I'm driving that I don't roll down my window, not just for the heat, but to engage in something that is negative. So prepare yourself in that way. We can do that. We're thinking free thinking individuals, so we can make the proper decisions before even going out.
So does that also mean that we should avoid certain situations if we know we're going to be in a bad mood? And I've had people talk about going to weddings sometimes, and it's so hot, but it's black tie and it's outdoors, and is it okay to say, I can't do this, and I'll be a much happier person to be around if I take this tie off and open this button?
Yeah, you know what? Make the decisions on how to keep yourself cool, how to avoid certain situations that you are exposed to extreme heat over certain amount of time. Know when you've had enough. Some people don't. Some people want to stay out in the sun as much as possible, but know what your limits are. And for example, when you talk about going to that wedding, an outdoor wedding, it's super hot out there. Make sure that you're not drinking too much alcohol, because then you get dehydrated, you get much more irritable, you might even get heat stroke. So you have to really be careful.
I mean, I think overall, if you look at moments in history, so I'm thinking of the Rodney King riots, some major moments in history were almost sparked by a whole host of things, but heat kind of, pun intended, fueled the fire. So that's for mass groups. But the individual, how do we put aside all of the indifference? How do we put aside all the inner turmoil we have in the middle of a heat wave and turn the other cheek and say, you know what, it's hot, I'm pissed off right now, but this is not my battle? How do we do that?
First of all, I think we have to really hit the pause button. Knowing that there is disequilibrium in how we are feeling physically because of the heat, and then that affects us emotionally, that we are not our best selves, and therefore we have to be very, very cautious as to whatever situation that we are perceiving, knowing that we are being compromised emotionally from that heat. So it's really important to know that this may be the worst time to get into some kind of a serious conversation or confrontation with anyone over any kind of particular situation, and waiting until you feel you are at your best so that you can reason, so that you can listen, and not let the heat dictate what you are feeling with regard to your emotions.
So really it's self-awareness
Right.
first, and then awareness of your surroundings, and hopefully you put yourself in the right spot mentally, you're prepared for it. So finally, as we talk about ways to keep cool, one way, an easy way to do that is to sit in an air-conditioned theater. So you casually dropped to our team yesterday that you're starring in an off-Broadway production.
Mic drop, just like that. No big deal.
Look at you.
Excuse
Just like
you.
that.
Branching out. Look at
What
this.
is happening?
Yes, I'm actually in a play called God Doesn't Mean That You Get to Live Forever. We have a great cast there. It's written by the great Gregory Charles Royal. We're at Theater Row on 42nd Street. We have performances, one coming up this Tuesday, but usually every second and third Tuesday through October. It's a great, great gospel play, a lot of music, a lot of joy. Just a really
Hold
great
up, Dr.
time.
Jeff. Are you acting?
Yeah. Are you in this?
I'm acting in the play.
Are you singing?
I actually get to sing
Wow.
in the
Are you
play.
dancing?
I'm dancing. I get to sing with the Anointed Friends Gospel Choir. It's just really a great
Hold
yeah.
up.
Wait. We got to hear a little ditty.
Give us
Can
a
you just
little
give us
5, 6, 7,
yeah.
8. Come on.
Here we go. I got a story to tell you. Back one day, when my soul was lost astray and life so lonely, but
there.
then came the Lord upon my life that day. He said, believe in him and let love show the way, especially when it gets hot out there.
Nicely done. See,
No
I don't feel
wonder
agitated.
you're on
I don't
Broadway.
feel agitated now. I feel very cool.
Dr. Jeff, you gave us one other phenomenal
Praise.
reason to love you. Thank you so much. Thank you for those useful tips.
Great seeing you.
We will use them. We'll put them to good use this weekend.
Stay
And break
cool.
a leg,
Great
as
to
they
see
say
you.
in the biz.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Good luck with that.
Bye-bye.